What an honor to welcome the golden boy, the great Oscar De La Hoya to the recap. That's Ryan McGuffey. We call him Guff. I'm Cap. That is Oscar De La Hoya. And you're bringing your boxing card to our town, to Chicago. What made you bring it here?
I've visited Chicago quite a few times in my fight days, doing press conferences and whatnot. But Chicago's a great town, man. It's a great fight town, and there hasn't been a good card in quite a while. And so now that we're promoting Sims, who's a local, who is from Chicago, he has a huge support fan base there. We thought, man, let's put him up against a tough Mexican who had a great fight against Ryan Garcia. Oscar Duarte and Sims have this beef going on. He's from Chicago, so it made all the sense in the world. So I'm pretty excited, man, because the response has been amazing.
I love that for current 2025 boxing, where we are with the sport, that guys like you, Golden Boy Promotions, are still involved in the sport, because I think the carryover for having one of the greatest boxers of all time in yourself to modern day still pulls the boxing fan of the past and still makes it current here today. Why is it so important to have you as the front and the face of this promotion?
Yeah. Well, look, when I started Golden Boy, I think it's been like 23 years now. And by the way, I'm the only fighter in the history of promoting, to ever lace up the gloves and promote at the same time. So I think it's important for these young kids to see that, there is life after boxing, right? A lot of these athletes or fighters, they drift off to the sunset doing nothing after they retire. So staying involved, being active, and I have the confidence with the fighters. They come fight in me, and I know what I'm talking about, so I can give them advice inside the ring, outside the ring, whether it's business, whether it's throwing a left hook. I think it's important to carry on the tradition, that we can fight, but we can also do business. And it's a learning lesson for all these fighters that I'm trying to teach them. So that there is life after boxing, and but I'm excited, man. Chicago's gonna be great. I can't wait. It's the first time in many years, so it's gonna be good.
So there have been some amazing fights over the years in Chicago.
Yeah.
Gene Tunney, Jack Dempsey. I have a list of them here. Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta fought here. Sonny Liston KO'd Floyd Patterson in Chicago. Joe Louis, Jim Braddock. There's some amazing fights. Yeah. I'm not a UFC guy. It's not my thing, but I love boxing. Can we ever get it back to the level that it used to be at when you were winning I remember you won the Olympic gold right after high school.
Yeah, I think, damn, high school, huh? God damn. All right. Jeez. I feel ancient, man. God damn. I think, absolutely, we can. And the one thing about us is that I'm teaching these young fighters that you have to fight the best. You have to fight tough opposition in order to climb the ladder. There's no more babying these kids. There's no more I'm going to give you an easy fight so you can, so you can look good and then go up against the world champion. No, it's like, let's go. Let's walk into the fire right away. That's the way I promote. And, it's been working. I've been building some great champions over the past years. And that's the objective, is to make sure that we just keep going with boxing, bring boxing back and make it stay alive, and make sure that we just put on the best fights. And I think this is a great action-packed. Look, a lot of people don't know Duarte. They're not household names, Duarte and Sims. But after their fight, July 12th, they're gonna know. People are gonna know who Sims is, who Oscar Duarte is in Chicago, and that's the objective, man. Let's bring boxing back to Chicago. But like you said, all the history involved in Chicago boxing is incredible.
I know you're certainly behind and are aware of the big fight this weekend with Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
Look, Jake Paul, it's a love-hate relationship. I think there's you either love him or you hate him, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
I think I fall more in like the hate crowd. Maybe not hate, but a dislike crowd of Jake Paul. But he's kind of taken, he kind of, boldly and brashfully hopped onto the scene, and he keeps winning fights. There's been a lot of rumors who's going to fight who, and he's coming after everybody. What's your take on Jake Paul?
Look, I obviously I was one of those, critics in the beginning. Okay, you have this YouTuber who wants to come in, and try to make a splash in the scene. Like, look, I'm very defensive about I call it my boxing world. It's like, because I love this. I will die for this sport. I mean, boxing gave me everything I have, so I owe everything I have to boxing. But Jake Paul comes up, he's beating, basketball players and this and that, and people are hyping it up, and it's great. It's great for the sport because a lot of kids are looking up to him. They're being introduced to the sport, so it's good in that manner. But then I'm asking myself, okay, when is he going to fight a real fighter? When is he going to fight a real test? And he goes into the who do he fight? One of the Diaz brothers. Who's an MMA fighter. He's not a real boxer. Beats him, then fights Silva and beats him. And so slowly but surely, I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. This guy's, he's up to something. But I'm not going to be behind him until he fights a real fighter. So this Saturday for me is like the real test. He is fighting an ex-world champion. He is fighting, Jake Paul is fighting a guy who went 12 rounds with Canelo, okay? Mm-hmm. And he has the bloodline, the Chavez bloodline. So, and I was actually torn in between picking Jake Paul and Chavez because who knows what Chavez will show up. If 100% Chavez shows up, he beats Jake Paul. That's the bottom line. I think that Chavez Jr., the way he's looking inside that ring, and I've been watching him these last few weeks, and up until yesterday, I saw him. He's in great shape. So, if Chavez sticks to his plan and is focused, yeah, he beats Jake Paul. But man, that's a big if. Jake Paul's in great shape. He's hungry. He's motivated. He has this drive in him. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty admirable. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm not sure I'm undecided who's going to win, but I think it's going to be a great fight.
I want to talk some history with you. I got to interview Muhammad Ali a long, long time ago, early in my career. And then I saw him at Wrigley and he signed a boxing glove. I've spent multiple interviews with Mike Tyson. What made Muhammad Ali? There was something about that dude. He just had it. What made him the greatest?
I think obviously aside from all the political issues and what he went through politically, right? Having to be incarcerated for several years in his prime because he didn't want to fight overseas. He stood for what's right and all that. So that made him larger than life. But obviously his boxing skill was one thing, but his charisma. I mean, he just loved people. He just loved people. It's like he had time for everybody. And that's one thing that I tell these kids today as well. Like, you be out there, go out there and just have fun, man. This career lasts. It's a short window of opportunity. Make the best of it, Don't just go out there and win. Don't just go out there and, fight, go home, sleep, then the next day go train. No, just go out there and put yourself out there. Look at perfect examples, Jake Paul. He fights, he has this social media, he works the room, he works it. That's why he has such a big following. But I think Muhammad Ali, obviously, will always be the greatest. And, I think his charisma was by far the best one out there. I mean, in any sport. I've seen him in action when back in the day. And, he was a funny guy, man. He was a fighter, a person who made time for you, who made you feel like you were the only one in the room, you know, and that was pretty cool.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not kissing your ass here, but charisma, I think, is something that you've had your entire career, and quite frankly, has allowed you to continue to be successful. Because I do think that is.
Come on, brother.
Love it. Love it.
But
You
you got to the top at literally the youngest possible age, and then you stayed there. How hard, when everything, the whole world's at your feet right away. You could have fallen hard and fast, but you didn't.
Bro,
you
I
stayed
did.
on.
I fell, but nobody knew it. I must have fallen like 10 times. I mean, I'm telling you, I think about this, right? So I grew up in a very humble, you know, neighborhood, just humble beginnings. I mean, people don't really know my story. I must have been depressed 10 times over. I must have been, I mean, you have no idea how many lonely nights, lonely days, lonely weeks that I've had after a big fight, after a big win. And people might be scratching their head saying, well, wait a minute, you had everything. You have this, you have that. It gets lonely on top, man. And especially when I was 17 years old, winning the gold medal, coming back to the States, overnight success, it eats you alive. Whether you know it or not, it's eating you alive inside. It's creating a beast, an animal in you, you know, and it's like, and you become lonely. You separate yourself from society. You think people don't love you. You think that, you know, you're doing this for the wrong reasons, for the right reasons. There's so much going in your head. And, you know, I'm just blessed and fortunate every single day. I swear, you can tell Holly, I tell her every single day, I am so blessed that I woke up this morning, because there could have been so many situations where I shouldn't have been alive. You know, that's how and it's a lot of pressure for a kid to win a world title, to win a gold medal, to have all this money and fame and charisma and looks and this. I mean, that's a lot for a kid. And, you know, I don't know how I kept it together. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty phenomenal. But I'm just glad I'm here.
So when you start making all this money, and I mean, the money gets insane when you're as good as you were as a boxer. How do you protect the money? Because we hear stories of Money Mayweather walking through a casino going, I'll bet $1 million on that. I'll do this. And I got 50 cars. Yeah. How do you protect the money?
You know what? I really seriously think that somebody's looking out for me. I mean, I've made some bad decisions, obviously, but I've made more good decisions than bad over the years. I don't know. I've always been very savvy with my finances. I've been savvy with like how I portray my career, you know, because I was talking to Holly the other day about this, and we were dissecting my persona, my career, right? That kid was it was all like an act. That little kid, oh, hi, this is Oscar de la Hoya, hi, I'm very grateful. Like, that was all like, and I didn't know I was doing it. Like, something possessed me or something, you know, and made me the golden boy. And so I just feel that somebody up there, whether it's my mom or whatever it might be, is looking out for me. It's crazy because, yeah, I didn't spend my money like crazy. I don't buy stupid things. I don't, you know, I have 2 cars. I'm not a car guy. You know, it's like I just live within my means, and I live comfortable and you know, just not make stupid decisions. You know, it's because as fast as you make the money, that's as fast as it can go. And I tell these fighters, man, you can make $1 million right now, and you can spend $2 million tomorrow. You know, that's how fast it goes. So I think, I was just got to be smart, man.
Duarte versus Sims Jr., Saturday, August 2nd. You see the information right there. Live from Credit Union 1 Arena, Ticketmaster.com for tickets. Oscar de la Hoya. This has been fun, dude. This has been a lot of fun. Brother. Appreciate you coming on the recap with us.
I got one more I got to ask you. How does Money Mayweather compare to Leonard, Hearns, Duran?
I think, different styles. Look, Mayweather's one of the more defensive style. He'll pot shot you. You'll hear in there. Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran were like just beasts. They would throw 5, 6, 10 punch combinations, different styles. I mean, it's different era, different style. But I got to go with my man Duran and Sugar Ray. I mean, all day.
Yeah, I still remember the fight where Sugar Ray's winding up. Bam!
Oh, man. Those were the days, man. Those were the days,
man.
I just saw him the other day at a charity benefit that he was throwing. And he still comes up to you and says, hey, I can take you on. You want to do it for a few mil? I'm like, I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Hey, how many shots does Holly have to give you on the golf course?
2 aside, brother. That's all she needs. 2 aside.
There you go. Well, if we get to Vegas, we'd love to team up with you.
You got it. I'll be there, brother. Hit me up.
All right. All the best to you.